It's AV SuperFriends First Friday Live, a short, often impromptu show streamed live to the socials and usually on the correct day, the first Friday of the month. We've collected 2 or 3 topics, news stories, product announcements, social media posts, or email listserv messages, and we'll give you our honest opinions in about 15 minutes or less, or your money back. Offer not valid in some states. The show starts now. Despite what that announcer guy just said, it is not the first Friday, though we are live. I think we caged it with a little bit of usually on the first day.
We're using the last Friday,
clause.
Though? Is it last? Well,
it's the last fourth Friday. Fourth Friday live. We're doing an emergency broadcast.
Mm-hmm. But who's counting?
Live on the scene. We have a correspondent live on the scene. This is emergency breaking news.
We have a live correspondent in the field. Our special tallest correspondent in AV. So we decided we'd jump on and do a quick show here, just for the sake of doing it, trying to keep this up, doing it every week because it's more fun that way. Also, there was some kind of big news. We're going to talk about that. And we needed to talk to Lyle about some other stuff. And so we figured, screw it. We'll just grab him from the beach and put him on the show. So
for the next 30 minutes, we're going to hash out all of our meetings we have coming up for the next month. You guys just
This is just an administrative call.
Yeah, it's an administrative call. But
so because this is going to be news focused, we're just going to go right to the news. Yeah. And let me bring up a timer so we don't talk forever.
Honest-ish.
Okay, we've got a timer going. Why am I not seeing a timer?
How much
This
time?
one?
20?
There's no timer.
15 minutes? 20
Oh,
minutes?
because somebody turned off my timer.
Well, turn it back on. I mean,
hold on. It's running, but you guys can't see it.
What is going on?
This whole thing's falling apart on us.
House of Cards.
Somebody had too many pina coladas. Somebody. I am on the beautiful island of Grenada.
Grenada.
All right. So this is Grenada, not Grenada. All right. That's for the people that say Tobago and not Tobago.
Is that like pina colada?
Mm-hmm. It's exactly
close. God.
That is like, this is like the epicenter of AV, right? Where you are right now? That's right.
It is the epicenter of something in my cup. I can't say anything else.
All right, so the what we wanted to bring up today, there was a big announcement. Was it just yesterday or was it the day before? I think it was just yesterday, actually.
Yesterday, I think.
That Acuity Brands is acquiring QSYS, or let me rephrase, is acquiring QSC, the larger organization.
Correct.
For blah, 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 billions of dollars, whatever.
Lots of money.
Lots of money.
And of course, everyone says, what's that mean?
It's the end of the world.
After reaching out to people at QSYS and figuring out what's going on, they're all being very positive and cagey because that's their job. But it is interesting to see an up and coming large, control and distribution player getting snapped up by a building technology company. So Acuity Brands, they have a bunch of stuff in lighting and HVAC and building management systems.
Building systems.
Yes.
Building systems. And so presumably this fits a hole in their portfolio, but I don't know, what do you guys think when something like this comes up and you see a large conglomerate buying up a smaller company?
From my business hat, which I've put on, this is my business hat, tells me they clearly value something in there for more than which they acquired it at. So it's that they see upside in this acquisition, right? Which tells us this new kid on the block is highly valuable due to something they see coming. We want that in our portfolio. And I think the industry at large has seen what QSC and QSYS has been doing, and I think a lot of people are watching this, and it's the new shiny hot thing.
What do you think that is? Is that how they're implementing licenses? Is the positive thing?
I don't know.
Like,
and I'm not heavily vested in QSC. I have some QSYS product out here, so others around this room, wherever they are more heavily invested than I am. So there's a lot of intrigue, and I think from a programmatic perspective, even some hardware perspective here, but I like some of the stuff I'm seeing coming out of there. We just have not wholesale jumped. And I don't know if we'll ever wholesale jump to one or the other, but I think just as I'm interested and intrigued as to what I'm seeing, the business is also interested and intrigued.
I think from the business side standpoint, though, if you look at the other side, like we've been fighting against low voltage contractors doing AV work for a while. All of a sudden, if their product line is available to your general contractors through other means other than AV integrators, this could be a little bit of a concern down that road and opening up more opportunities for that group and getting traditional AV out of it.
Well, not only that, Larry, but kind of think about the old archaic way we do construction and how things are bid with subcontractors. So now you have an EC that's going to probably have AV under their belt, and then they're also going to have shades and everything else. So you could have two people supplying multiple QSYS systems to control multiple things, which could get weird too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Acuity is big into lighting control systems. They have some DMX stuff from a purchase a while ago, but lighting control systems, commercial building management systems. So this is clearly something where they want to like integrate this somehow, tie it into life safety stuff or whatever. They're calling it intelligent spaces, which is just you know, smart buildings was the thing about 10 years ago, and it's all the same sort of thing. So you know, wayfinding, power management, that sort of stuff. So it can all get lumped together, and they can say we can, under our brands, provide you a whole package. I guess the real question is what happens in, I mean, they all come back and say nothing's happening in 1 to 2 years. Okay, fine, because it takes that long for these sort of things to work themselves out. What happens in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? Is this a Legrand snapping up Milestone and all those other little brands and pretty much just, aside from a terrible website, leaving them alone? Or is this more of a, by the way, Legrand fixed that. Or is this a Harman buying up a bunch of companies and then Samsung buying them up and them all just kind of slowly fading away?
Let it rot. Yeah.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
Like, what's your perspective, Lyle? What do you have on this? You had a unique take.
So I'm sorry, I'm the hot take guy. Everybody knows this by now. I think that's it. We could pack up on QSC. It's going to take at least 2 to 3 to 4 years. And I'm not just thinking QSYS, right? In my other life as a DJ, I've been a QSC guy way back in the day, Krong amplifiers, QSC, whatnot. I can't see, I mean, it doesn't take having an MBA for me to figure out a business case for Acuity to not worry about the open market. So what have they seen over the past decade of them dealing with buildings? They've seen more and more AV integrated as a normal run-of-the-mill thing. We've all discussed it over the past few years, right? Now you can come to them as a one-stop shop for everything. If I were them, what impetus do I have to develop products and product lines that are outside of that portfolio that I need at core? I can't make an MBA level, a bachelor's level, a common sense level argument as to why. So I think that's all, folks. I think this is going to be worse than the Samsung Harman run. You have 5 years, so you got some time. I'm thinking 2 to 5. You got, for anybody who's invested, you got some time to think about where else you want to go.
I'm wondering if it more is just the pure business play of this, because I think everybody would agree there's been a lot of confusion around QSC, like the pro audio division, the programmatic thing, and I think there has been call for some strategic pruning. Yes, this is like lopping it all off at the base of the tree and then replanting a tree without the branches on it. Like it's totally weird, but I can see how this type of disruption gives an immediate cash injection and also allows people to spin off the pieces and put them into different vertical pieces as they need to be able to focus the resources where they need to be, because to kind of flatten this down a little bit.
I can see that, but at the same time, like this just brought to light how small the AV segment is. I mean, they're taking one of the, easily one of the top 3 players in our market, and they're just throwing them in their smart buildings division. Like it's just
down in the corner somewhere.
Yeah, like it's just
It's
kind
like
of
you guys go in
basement
the
office.
basement office.
yeah, it's a lot of money, but at the same time, if you look at, it's not the high priority thing that we want, that we think it is.
So, I mean, for those who are using it, give me a temperature check here. Chris, Jamie, like I think you two are probably deploying. I mean, Justin, yourself also. How does this make you feel? What's your gut reaction on this?
Well, I was fine until Lyle started talking.
I'm sorry.
Like ruined my whole weekend. I don't know. I think I see the point about the Samsung Harman thing. I see the point about the Legrand thing. This could be something completely different all on its own. It could see building automation companies start making AV crap that they're trying to push on us. Like, who knows what's going to happen with Tech and that little subdivision of QSYS, which is now a subdivision of which is a subdivision of. So change is inevitable. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not really concerned. I got a lot of problems next week I got to solve. I can't really think about 5 years from now right now. So.
Go
Well,
ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. No, go.
You're the correspondent. You go. Get in there.
Oh, sorry. Live from Grenada. What I was going to just throw in there is I'm thinking of what happened to UB Tech Magazine with their private equity takeover. And the reason I'm paralleling it there, even though they obviously didn't make product, the private equity firm said, hey, look, we really want the magazine and the publication arm of this, but we're not very good at this conference thing. So we're just going to kill it. We're going to do like it never existed. Goodbye. I'm listening to Justin and I'm thinking again, okay, if I were Acuity, the best case scenario out of this is I can probably raise prices on some of these things just to make margins go, which means QSC is going to get more expensive. And that's the best case scenario, right? But I can't find the string to hang on to that says to me that this multi-billion-dollar building firm is going to wake up and say, okay, let's produce amplifiers and audio stuff, and let's do AV over IP stuff over here to sell to Justin and Chris and guys. Yeah, fun stuff.
Here's what I really think in my head of why they might have bought it. They might have been trying to figure out where is this glue that we need to get all of our little subsystems to talk to each other. And they've stumbled across QSys, who makes this software with all these plugins. And they were like, how long would it take us to make that? And somebody said, lots of people and lots of time and lots of money. But yeah, we need that now. So let's just buy them.
So Justin, that's what in business school, like Lyle was saying, that's what they call the make-buy decision. We make that or do we buy it? And so I think just you're getting closer there. I give even odds
side.
Yes, I give even odds within a year. QSC, QSys, whatever the hell, they need to figure out that branding thing. Let's just say those two get split up. QSC Pro Audio goes away. Giant speaker cabinets and monstrous racks and stacks. That all becomes its own just straight up audio company. I would not be surprised to see that at all. The QSys side of things, the software driven side of things, I think you're pretty close there. That they want some sort of larger ecosystem they can tie this stuff into. And if they can make this pitch to architects and engineers, it's not going to be to us. It's going to be to architects and massive consulting firms to say, we can tie into our building automation systems. We can tie in stuff, your lighting, your life safety, your building management systems, your controls, your security, your door access. All that stuff, straight into your AV stuff, tied into your audio playback, your paging, your digital signage, your wayfinding, your conference rooms. Yeah. That's where this play, I think, is really going. And I don't think it's really going to affect short term. I'd say short term, like 3 to 5 years. Let's say 3 years. I don't think it's going to affect dramatically what we're seeing out of QSys at this point. The real question comes, what happens in that 5 to 8 to 10 years? Because, and Lyle well knows this, of anybody on this call, higher ed thinks in terms of 7, 8, 10 years, not in 2 to 3 years. If Amazon was doing an entire new building and said, great, we have to pivot, we'll just buy this, finish it up, and we'll move over and move on in 18 months. Well, university can't do that. I mean, it's a huge lift and it's multi-years. And when we buy stuff, we're buying it once to use it for 8, 10, 12 years until it explodes and dies in a pile of ash, not something that's going to get thrown out in a couple of weeks. So I think that's where the real question comes in. I think this is a larger play for building management systems, which makes sense from a business perspective. It's not for us. It's for, architects and massive engineering firms, but to tie into their building systems. But I think in the short term, we're not going to see much change 2 to 3 years. The real question is, what do we see start to sneak out in 3 to 5 years? And then longer term, what is QSys making at that point? Because you're right, they may go entirely just software based, and they make a couple little widget boxes and software stuff, and it's all designed to tie into other systems. So
I bet you if you go back and look at Acuity, they probably started with one small thing like HVAC, and then bought some security thing, and then bought something else, and finally got to this point was like, I need some glue. Where's my glue?
It started as the Atlanta Linen Supply Company.
So they started with linens. There you go.
Railroad. Would this be different if it was the other perspective? If QSys had bought Acuity, would you feel different? Like if they went out and bought a whole different thing,
vastly different.
And bringing all this in, they wanted all that different capability. Would your perspective be different?
I think I would be more scared about that.
You would? Okay.
I wouldn't. I would feel better about the long-term health of the big audio.
Yes,
I don't know. They wouldn't pay attention to audio as much because they got so much other crap to pay attention to now.
Well, no, but if I may, in a case like that, we already have a history for that with Legrand and even with Samsung buying Harman. All right. So what happens are these are companies that are still focused on our vertical at core. So they're not going to get rid of us or they don't need us. The entire case that Chris made is about architects. Now, even if it works out, think about this, Justin. What happens when your QSys system is going to be overly bloated with a set of built-in controls for systems that you will never see in your life on your desk? So, like for me, it would actually
like
work the other way around. Oh Lord!
I was waiting for the.
I was about to throw my phone into the ocean. Oh God! Right? But no, I mean, for me, it would actually make more sense the other way around because again, if I pull on that string again, there is no tie between Acuity and our vertical. There is none. All this has done, it's allowing them when they're constructing the building to say to the architect and the client, we can do the conference room for you. We can put those screens up because we have transportation, we have control. Oh, by the way, our control controls HVAC. Fast. I mean, Chris went through the whole thing. So if it were the other way around, I would not be here preaching doom and gloom. I'd be like, But this way,
I mean, the interesting way to kind of verify that will be next year's InfoComm. Last several
Yes.
InfoComm.
I don't think it'll be next year. I think it'll be 2 years out.
2 years
Yeah.
out. The QSC
Vegas.
always had the biggest booth because that was where their focus
Oh, you mean
was.
their booth isn't as big? If it's
Yeah,
if
you
it's
go by
if-
square footage.
and
due to the
That's going to
card
give you the
table?
litmus test.
Where's AMX's booth anymore? I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't take
Remember
long.
that
for
year
them
they
to
didn't show?
disappear.
Yeah.
Well, Jamie, I'm interested in your perspective because there's a part of me that says there was some shit that needed to be cleaned up in QSys, and I think you had some really the licensing and all of that stuff. I'm hopeful that maybe this, but I don't know if they're aligned to this. Like, do you get any hope for like the stuff you wanted to see changed in the QSys kind of the way they're managing and scaling things? So you were kind of had some voice around that.
Yeah, well, I think that discussion. Yes, I think they're going to try to clean that up and they're going to try to bring it back together. As far as this merger, I'm not concerned at this moment. Look, we've seen this happen again and again. I mean, when was Biamp acquired?
Well, and recently just Panasonic as well.
Right.
And Panasonic freaked me out a little bit more just because it's weird that such a giant corporate conglomerate is getting rid of something. Yeah. Right? Now, it turned out when we talked to Daryl that it wasn't what we thought. I am interested to see. I do think this is a play for a whole building solution. What I see in that environment, in that world, is like there's Honeywell, and then everybody else is this PLC level, old school logic control stuff. And I think this is Acuity's way of saying, wait a minute, this is a developed platform that we can slide into that's already network based. It's already built for, and I'm going to insult all of us on this call, for these dummies to drag and drop crap in and plug it in. There's no command line. There's no logic
Because you use block controller, not scripting.
There is a command line if you want there to be.
Yes, it's not built around that.
You
can, yes, but it's already been dumbed down. That's my point. It's already been stupefied. And so now we can, that's in the dictionary. Go look at that up.
Harry Potter one, too.
We give you credit.
Fight is a word.
But
Stupid.
But I do think that it is part of a bigger play by Acuity to insert that into building control solutions. I think that's where we're all kind of headed anyway. And we may see a disconnect from QSys and black boxes, but we expect that anyway. We expect this to go all software and network driven anyway. So black boxes will start to subside.
Yeah,
I don't know. Story. And in 5 to 7 years, I hope to be having drinks with Lyle on the beach and not be working on it per day. So let's see what happens.
we could do that tomorrow. We could do that next week.
Jamie, you could quit tomorrow.
Yeah. It's Saturday. You'd have to wait till Monday.
The one thing that I think is of interest is if you look through what Acuity currently has under their portfolio, they do not have anything that overlaps with QSys.
Nothing. Nothing.
It's all lighting control, building controllers, prismatic skylights, drivers, power supplies, integrated systems, indoor and outdoor applications, roadway surface suspended lighting systems, modular LED drivers,
all
photo
standard
control.
classroom shit. you're saying.
Roadway
All
suspended
classroom
surface lighting system. That sounds interesting as shit.
So it's all like this. It's this massive like building stuff. Jamie, like you said, it's Honeywell and nobody. So they're driving for this. So there's no overlap. So it's not as if like these guys already have an audio division and they're like, that's gone.
I don't think it's audio. I think it's the control software.
It's control.
What I'm
It's
saying
control.
is the stuff is not going to the stuff that we use isn't going to go away because that control. And you're right. They may have been like, we need something to bring all this together. Here's an ecosystem that we can build the next version in 3 years and release, and it ties all this stuff together. You know, and then we're just using, to Larry's point, we're a small portion of it, so we're using like 10% over here, and the other 90% is all like building control stuff or something.
And I think that also is mutually beneficial because we've seen these other big trons also go out and try to find their way into lighting controls and building controls.
That
and they
always
suck
works
at
well.
it.
It's the
They're stuck
same.
at
It's got
it.
the
They're
same
terrible.
name.
Same thing.
So
I think-
now this is a way that in the short term even QSys can say, oh look, this is a direct tie-in to the lighting and the blah blah. It'll be interesting to see how it all weighs out. I am really surprised that they didn't have a better presentation about this is what this means. But maybe they still don't. I mean,
They
you
don't
know
know.
they
They
do
probably don't
know.
know.
In the background, all of the C-suite, they know what this is all about.
Oh, yeah. So
But the way
I'm
QSys
curious-
usually
That's a sign.
operates, I'm surprised we haven't seen some wacky ass video of explaining on how this all works. You
There
know,
is one. It's on
Park
Commercial
show.
Integrator. It's on that that link that Larry posted.
Yeah.
There's like a 6-minute video going through it. So
See, there was a lot of concern in some of the commercial AV subreddits and things like that about the support side of this. I don't know anybody who's ever got any support or direct, consumer client interaction with Acuity, and I think there was a lot of concern about how is that going to hand off, and are they capable of scaling? And I think there was even some thought that was where the work needed to be done in QSC. So what does that mean if as they were growing and moving forward, that support piece and that outreach, all that part needed to have more resources brought in? And I don't know. For all I know,
Yeah, but
maybe
Mark-
Acuity has the best support ever. I just have never needed it.
let's call them
Maybe it's actually, again, it's not a part of their core business focus. It's not what they bought this company for. I think one of my major takeaways from this convo is we're all agreeing that they have a full portfolio of things that they needed to bring into modern day control. And what QSC does, it gets them immediate links into modern day control, right?
Yeah.
So great. But again, my little dummy brain keeps going here. What business reason should they want to set up AV support for us? They didn't spend 1.2 billion for any of us.
It wasn't for us.
No.
It wasn't for us.
And I'd be curious to see that core company, what assets did they sell 6 months ago to get this cash infusion where they viewed QSC as on sale at this price? Because as much as we see that price tag, that may seem like a lot of money. I think that was actually cheap for the capability they're going to get out of this in the long
Oh,
run.
for sure.
Yeah,
It's a steal. For them, it's a steal.
So last year they had revenue of almost $4 billion. So
That's it.
they've got plenty of cash.
That's what I'm saying. Like for them, if you were going to need it, if you needed a programming company, let's just pretend you have all the infinite money, and you want to go buy best of breed, where would you put your money right now? I'd go buy QC or something like that. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Like, it's been easy. People are like,
SP controls, control
yeah,
forward.
right. And so
Light 'em
why
up.
Oh, hell
why
no.
bother all the
Hell
development?
no.
Just go get it. If you can afford
Hell.
it, go get it.
I mean, I think the other takeaway that we all are also agreeing is that this is not a today or tomorrow problem. And we're not going to see any, and let's be fair here, guys. None of the executives from either company is going to come out and say anything that will rock the boat or the share price for the next 18 to 36 months. Let's just be honest about that.
Yep.
By then, we will know what will happen.
So,
So buy shares of Acuity, not
No.
financial advice.
Yeah, Justin
Right,
needs
is
to
that
know.
what you're
He's
saying?
got E-Trade open right now. He needs to know what he's doing. Like, give him
Yeah.
some,
He's-
give him
Oh,
some
Lord.
advice. Yeah.
Is that
This
even
is not
publicly traded?
financial advice.
Let's find out.
I doubt.
Let's see.
But
No.
but let me
So-
tell you, it's worse if they are publicly traded, Justin, because those shareholders do not care.
no, Acuity's
about our
Acuity's publicly
vertical.
traded.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't
well,
know. I was gonna-
definitely.
I was
Ring the
looking
bell.
it up.
This is done. This is sign
I'm
the
buying
death
stocks.
warrant. It's done.
I'm buying stocks
done.
Monday morning.
Symbol is
Going all in?
Symbol is
Yeah, ape in.
AYI or pronounced I.
All right.
This is over with. This is done. It's a wrap.
We did it.
Verification code.
Boy,
E-Trade
they're
bullshit.
trading heavily right now. They're up in the last 3 days. So
Yeah, they're watching this show, and
Oh,
people are
yeah.
aping in. They're going
That's it.
big time.
So I
Yeah.
missed
Go
that.
on.
They should be. They should be.
God.
They just took a warp drive jump into the future. They are good to go. The rest of us, The rest of us QSIS people,
You missed it, Justin. You missed your
'Cause
chance, man.
the entire
buying.
world was just
Buy
sitting
high.
there waiting for this,
Buy high, sell low.
buy high, sell low.
Yeah, that's how it works, Justin. Keep doing that.
Keep doing it. Works every
Good
time.
plan.
100%
Let's see.
time.
All right. Well, I think we've beat this one into the ground with our special emergency broadcast show here. So
Acuity.
Justin's going to
I'm still
mortgage his
looking.
house here. So we're going to close out. We'll be back next week with more nonsense of some sort. I don't remember what we're doing next week.
Something. We'll
But,
figure it
yeah, we'll figure it out. And
Ooh, that's steep.
are you still buying things?
Don't buy
I
it,
want to
man.
buy it, but now it's
took a loss.
expensive.
It's too late now.
It's gone.
Special celebrity correspondent on the scene for this breaking news, Lyle.
Yes, Lyle, thanks for joining us. Hang on, and we'll talk logistics for other stuff coming up. And for everyone else, we'll see you guys on
Yes,
the next
sir.
stream sometime next Friday about this time.
Soon. Bye.
We did it! A short show just for the first Friday of the month, usually. Follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter to join us next time, and you'll find the full slate of recorded podcasts and everything else we do at our website, avsuperfriends.com.